Welcome to Box Office Banter. I'm Rodney. This is Brandon. That's
Hello.
Josh. And Tyler is invisible. This is Jeepers Creepers. All three of them.
Heck yeah.
The review.
Is this Rodney or a different person? What's going on?
He's
Oh,
starting
hey.
it up,
I'm. My name's Jeff.
Well, that's the trilogy. Let's dive
So let's
right
get
in,
started.
guys.
Yeah, so the movie opens up with, you see it's a brother and sister driving these back country roads.
Yeah,
going
where are
back
they at?
home. What, like state?
Yeah, do you know
I
what
don't
state
I'm surprised you don't know that.
And what year, too?
Illinois, maybe?
is it? Do you know?
It did seem
I
like
know.
a Illinois.
Yeah.
Is it like
fucking
Dakota?
thing.
Well,
It's probably
there's a
Michigan.
license plate. How did we not know this?
It was filmed in
But
Detroit.
I mean, yeah, they were out in the
It's
country.
impeding you.
They were out in the
County.
country going on a nice little road trip back home.
North Central Florida, it says.
Nice.
That's not where that.
That is what it says.
Not what I expected.
Yeah, that's-
when I think of Florida, I think cornfields for sure. I
Well,
love the opening banner between Derry and Trish. Really helps sets up the believability of them being brother and sister, which I truly appreciated.
Yeah, when you first see him, my mind first ran to like boyfriend, girlfriend.
Really?
And you quickly figure out.
Yeah, just the way they joke.
they're siblings.
100%, man.
They really focused. One of the things I like most about this movie is how much they focused on the two characters at the beginning, which is like a solid 25 minutes of an intro to them.
Which makes you fall in love with them
Right.
as
Yeah.
characters,
Right.
which is something they do in
Creates
this movie,
a lot
and
of
I don't
tension.
think the other ones as much. But we'll get to that.
No doubt. I love the shot of the be eating you or beating you as they're playing the license
Yeah.
plate game. That kind of goes and coincides with what I was talking about, how the chemistry is just right between them. But I love the shot of it like coming up fast while they're talking. The truck is just like, and you can hear it like coming up on their ass, and they're just having like this innocent game, and it's just like, what does he want, Derry? Like, I don't know. Go around.
He's
So they're like
swerving
he's,
all
uh,
over the
he's
road.
losing
It's ridiculous.
shit, dude.
But it'd be terrifying at the same time. Because,
Yeah.
like, you're in the middle of nowhere, too.
Yeah.
With a guy that's obviously a psychopath.
Yeah.
In a big
guy?
ass truck.
Only to
Look at
find
that.
out what he really
Aw.
is.
A
But
guy.
he doesn't. He knocks him off the road, right?
Pretty much. They
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think-
drive off the road.
Yeah, they drive off the road, and he just keeps going. And then they have their little spat or whatever.
Yeah, little did they know that was the least of their problems.
Yeah, so they think it's
That's
over.
a
Let's just
scary
get
day
back on the
already.
road. The dude's gone. Let's get back on the road. Keep going. They get back on the road. They keep going, and they look to the left and they see this. They see the big truck or van or
Speaking
whatever.
of shots,
It's at a church, and you see the creature guy who looks like a
Looks like a
tall
man.
human with a
Yeah.
trench coat was throwing something down this big chute, and it was wrapped up to look like a body. And if you were the people that just saw that, and then the guy turns and looks at him and sees him driving
That was the
past.
Just
Yeah.
stares
The way-
at him.
the
He
way
just-
the camera kind of like pans with it,
Yeah.
he's just like staring at
It's
it,
such
like
a
into
good
their
shot.
soul, dude. It's so fucking creepy. I remember that, like, as soon as I saw that,
Yeah.
that was at the point when I was like 10, because I remember I went to your place like after I like woke you up on like, I think it was like a bunk bed or something you might have had. Like I remember being like, Josh, you gotta wake up. I know you hate horror movies. We gotta hear about this
Yeah,
entire movie real quick. This movie's crazy, because like that was the scene that started it for me, dude. When I saw that, I was like, I'm in for something.
See, they didn't ask for any of this until they asked for it, which is
Yeah.
coming up. So they're hauling ass away from that, as you would be, and you see him get back in the truck and start coming after him. He starts hitting them this time and hitting that horn,
Which
scary.
Dude, that
Talk about
horn.
how fast that fucking truck is.
Yeah, no
yeah,
shit.
he,
They had a
just
good
as long
lead
as like
on
he
him.
has it souped up or
Yeah.
something. He's something that bugged me in that scene. Whenever it hit the back of their car, Justin Long would like fling himself forward. I'm like, that's not how physics work. You know, if
I
you get
noticed
hit
that.
from behind,
'Cause
you
she
fall
went back
back.
and
Yeah,
he
she
went
went back
forward.
and he kept going forward. I was like, no one noticed that, but okay, whatever. So but it knocks them
Little
off the
thing.
road, and then the truck just keeps going. And this is when they have
They're
the
presented with
moment.
the dilemma.
This is the dilemma.
It's not a dilemma. They're stupid.
They're
I knew
No.
you were gonna
retarded.
say that, but what would y'all do? Would
No,
y'all
there's-
have the
See,
heart?
the dilemma is, do they go back and check and make sure their actual bodies, or are they just crazy, or should they just keep going, and get to a phone? But they haven't been, because they tried cell phones. Cell phones don't work, or the battery died. He doesn't have the right charger and all that. So that's the dilemma. Do you go back, check, see if it is body, see if you were overreacting, or do you keep going?
Well, Derry, Trish was trying to, but Derry did hit you with that line that does get you a little bit, where you're like, fuck no, not my problem. But then he hits you with that line that just like, what if it was you down there? And you're like, fuck, Derry, don't say that. I know you're not going to give a fuck.
I don't give a shit.
I'm not even saying
Dude, I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, I don't even think I would. But
I would tell him to walk.
At the same time, everybody's been in that situation where you're like, it's not my problem, it's not my thing. And somebody hits you with a line like that, and it's like, fuck, son of a bitch.
You had to put it that way.
I would just be like, well, it isn't. So
now,
we can keep going.
And you got to think Trish, too. She might have thought, like, he's gone. We're just going to look real quick. She didn't think that everything else would transpire. Could this be one
of the most stupid horror movie decisions
Well,
ever?
This is what I was saying earlier, is that these movies are the poster childs for bad decisions in horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, they really are. Like him, the way when they get to the shaft or whatever, and he goes into it, with her holding him by the ankles, I'm like, why would that even be a thought in your mind?
Yeah, why would you try to go in there? Why don't you because he heard a noise
5 feet closer to see.
Yeah,
he couldn't see
he's in like a 20-foot like cylinder.
Which after he falls in, she can see him just fine, laying down, moving his head and shit, and she's like, okay, things like that.
See, I don't know if she can see him.
She could see him because he would like move. She was yelling like, "Derry, are you okay?" He wouldn't answer.
He's got the light. What I'm saying is, like, for us, we can see it, and that might be more of like a shot thing, like how cool it looks, like with just the whole light around him. But at first, like, Derry, like, and he's like, I can't see anything. And then he turns the light on, and maybe that's when not us. We can see him as like the visual for like, because we can't just look into a dark hole like we were trying to see what's going on with Derry. But Trish might not have been able to see him until he flipped on like the actual flashlight.
He was laying on his back when the camera was facing her in like his point of view.
Yeah.
And he was and like he moved his head, and she was like, "Oh, okay, thank God." And I'm like, how can she see him?
Which
like,
another thing that I thought of, I don't know if you all realize this.
On the light, though.
He threw the bodies down there, but they weren't at the end of the chute. They were 10
moved
feet
over.
The chute.
Well, the guy was still alive for a second.
Like, shot, but Derry came
But where Derry landed is where the bodies should have landed, but they were 10 feet over to the side.
It's
such a small thing; it doesn't really matter. But
it's just one of them
we're
things
talking about physics, Tyler.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't make sense. But he goes over there because he hears what he thought was a person like moaning or whatever, and he opens up that thing and he sees like this kid's still alive, but he has like a shitty scar all on his chest down to basically his waist, and then he dies. He's like, what? I don't even know what he was trying to tell him.
This is the guy that they were talking about on the way, just while traveling too. They were like, "Do you hear that story about the guys who went missing? They found her head, but not her body."
Yeah.
And that was the guy, the boyfriend or whatever, that went missing.
Yeah.
And that's what freaked him the fuck out, because he had like one last breath to say something. I forgot what he even said.
Yeah, that's what I don't know what he was gonna say, and then that's when Justin Long like gets up, and maybe his eyes adjust or something. Is that what happened, or did he actually hit it?
I think he hit a flashlight.
He actually hit
That's why he was trying to get in like 6 feet, because maybe if he's looking down this dark chute, it kind of cuts off, but like 6 feet in, where it comes down 6 feet in, then he can kind of barely see.
So that was like a 20-foot
from
long.
his point of view on the ground,
because he couldn't
she
get
was
back
way
up there. That's why I was like, just climb back up. But it was like
tall,
it was like 8 feet off the ground, and then like 20 feet, like 45 degree.
Yeah. He was smart 5 minutes prior.
He was. They didn't ask for any of this. They're just on their way. Truck
home.
runs them off the track, the road. They're like, fuck, what bad luck. They get back on the road. They see someone throwing bodies down the chute. What bad luck. They take off. The Jeepers guy runs them off the road again. And then they're like, you know what? Let's not keep. We've had a shitty day. Let's just keep going. They're like, no, we're going to go back and put ourselves in danger.
Yeah, and how about Justin Long's like acting in this though?
He was,
like when he's in there, when he's down in there, I believe every bit of like his fear.
Yeah.
The way he discovers, the different things that like we'll get to. You're talking about the body down there, and the whole just like the way the place just gets fucking worse and worse and worse. He's seeing like the little workshop type of area, and then what something you were talking about.
Yeah, so like he finds that body with the dude that's sewed up or whatever, and he walks into the other room, and I think his shoe was untied. So he bent down to tie his shoe, and he put the flashlight like under his arm so it's shining behind him. And I love that shot. The flashlight like lights up the wall, and you can see all the bodies on the wall, but he still has no clue that they're there. And then something starts like dripping on his foot, on his shoe, so he looks up and shines the light and sees there's fucking hundreds of bodies just like decorating this whole fucking room. At that point, I would have shit my pants.
Yeah.
Like, no, like 100%. And I would have said to myself, I put myself in this position. What did I do?
I might have died right there. Like, I might have looked around like, I'm so scared, just died of fright. Like, and then, dude, oh my God. And then the missing couple thing, he finds the class ring and shit with the head, like, sewed on and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice touch, I thought, dude. And then you see Trish. She's out there. She thinks she sees the truck. And then as she's thinking she's seeing the truck, she realizes she's fine. She ends up getting back in the car. Now, on a scale of like 1 to 10, how bad would Derry have scared the shit out of you when he came up to like the window and was like, boom?
Terrifying.
I would have passed out probably.
Like, oh! You'd have swung a bat. Like
Yeah.
It scared me in the movie, and I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah. And what I love too is like the look on Derry's face. Like it takes a while for him to come to. Like you can tell
The whole
through
drive.
the acting. Like he is fucking scarred. Like whatever he saw down there, Trish don't know the exacts. So we're kind of going off of her point of view. But she's like, Derry, you're scaring the shit out of me. Like, and you know as a viewer what he saw. So you can just, the believability again. Like, I wish Justin Long would do more horror movies. It's like after this, he kind of just jumped into comedy left and right.
Yeah, he can do it all, actually.
It's a good thing with Justin Long because he's a physical actor. Like, he uses his body like a lot when he acts. So that's, like, perfect for, like, a horror movie.
Oh, yeah. Do y'all ever think of, like, I've always wondered, I almost want, like, an alternate cut, like, just because I've seen the movie so many times. I want to know exactly, like, how he got out of there. Like, I don't want to see that in the movie, but I wish I had, like, information. Because I feel like seeing him, like keep going through, and then we see too much, and it kind of, like,
Well, he
gives
found
away.
a door, didn't he?
He just
down there?
Apparently, he went through the basement up through the church.
Yeah, there was, like, a door leading up the stairs, I think.
Yeah, that's what the Trish was like yelling down to him. Like, I'm sure there's a way, maybe up through the church or whatever. But like, I would have liked to seen like just visually like how he got out, not in the movie, but like a deleted scene or something.
But then they
Just out of
leave.
curiosity.
Then they leave the house, and you're like, oh, hey, they dodged a bullet. The guy didn't come home and check, make sure that. So they go to the gas station. They're telling them all about it, and they're like, you're crazy and all this shit. And then you see the truck come flying back and just pass. I was like, could you imagine if it stopped and did like a 180 and just came right at them at the gas station? But then the truck goes home, and you just got to assume, oh, fuck, he's going to know that we were down there. We need to get farther away.
Did y'all notice that all those people in that diner, and there was like one car in the parking lot?
Because the diner was packed.
Yeah, it was absolutely packed. That's why, like, when you first watch it, you think they're in on it. Like, the town, the whole town is kind of like,
Hiding
feed
over.
him,
It's like
help
a
him
secret.
feed.
I wonder
and
if
then,
that's what like
we feed
Victor
him and he
Salva
won't
was
kill
going
us.
for. I hate giving that dude.
I wish he kind of would have. I
Props.
thought that would have been a cool little additive, but then this movie wouldn't might not have been what it
I don't
is.
think I'd like it. I think it'd be too much. Like I just like focusing solely on that monster.
Then doesn't he get a phone call?
Phone call from
he
some woman.
the psychic. Lady,
Yeah, and she's like telling him all this
that
crazy
would
stuff.
freak
Knows
me
their
out even
name
more.
and
The
Yeah.
dream she had.
Yeah, like that's it's crazy. And then they get back in the car and they're driving, and they're messing with the radio station, and then they hear that song.
Well, before that,
Yeah,
we-
before
cops.
that,
Yeah, we gotta
they
touch
go
on
out.
something.
They go outside, and all their clothes are like
Because
all
the
over
girl was like, there was
a
somebody
man
in
at
your
your
car,
car
and he was in y'all's like
sniffing it.
laundry, and it looked like he was fucking loving it too.
Yeah.
So
and
he
that
was
would
getting
trip
that
you out.
scent.
Yeah, and the cops
That could
are
be
not
just
believing
a
him.
homeless drunk guy one night, but it's like
Rodney on the weekends.
Yeah.
But they knew, and they were like, because the cops don't believe Derry at all, dude. He's sitting there like, what, you don't fucking believe? And it sounds outlandish,
Yeah.
like there's hundreds of, like, sure there is. And he's like, I'm not saying I don't believe you. That's what the cop is saying. But, like, at the same time, man, you got to hear, we got to
From
get all
my
the facts
perspective.
and my perspective.
Yeah.
And then Derry, that's when he goes out, is like, see, you fucking believe me now? And they're saying, like, oh, they're like, look, it's like, is that a fingerprint? Can you do something with that?
Yeah.
And then when they are driving,
And
they
yeah,
get
the
that
cop
call.
car's behind them and stuff, and it's so dope because he changes the radio station and he hears it, and they go back to it, and he hears the song that the crazy lady told him, like, if you hear this song, get away because that means danger. And as that
Barry's
song's
like,
playing, it's showing through the front, and you see them like listening to it, like looking at each other, and then the Jeepers Creepers guy on top of the police car
Love
behind him. I was like, dude, that's such a cool scene.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great shot. And this is, I've seen the people that hate this movie, like, because there's, like, random people that do. They always say, like, the first 45 minutes, I think, is what it is, before you see him, like, land on the roof of that
Yeah.
cop car. They're like, it was so good till it became a monster. For me, that's just, like, another fucking layer to it. And then, like, it'd be different if the monster was, like, corny. But
Yeah.
the fact it became a monster, and it's one of the coolest monsters I've ever seen put to screen, it only added it up another level. Like, it's not even a fucking human being. Like, holy shit.
But it's like comprised of all human beings. Like
Yeah.
that's what's so crazy about it.
so
But you
fucking
notice
cool.
the lady on the phone. I loved how she named that house. She called it the House of Pain. And that shit, dude, that if I were to hear that in a phone
Jump
call,
around.
I'm like, dude, I don't want
Yeah.
nothing to do with any of this anymore. Like, I just want to go home.
Yeah, get me as far away from here
Yeah,
as
Oh, shit.
possible.
Yeah, another thing that we didn't say, I also, before they got in that car, I loved how Trish could, like, hear something flying overhead while they were, like, checking out the fingerprint on the vehicle. And that was the thing that the cops got. They're just like, this is the hand of basically, like, a dead person or something.
Yeah, it's
like
just
this
ash.
Hand, yeah, it doesn't
Well,
make
and
any
also
sense.
the wheel or whatever that was spinning,
Mhm.
like that had stopped
Yeah.
too, which they bring that back in. I know the third one. I don't know if they did in the second one too, but
Oh, yeah. And, oh, man, dude. I mean, can you imagine just being Derry and Trish, like, what the fuck even just happened after it took those cops, dude? Like, it just, like just to imagine, like, they're just driving down the road. They don't even really know what happens because we're seeing it from behind them, and they're just like, what the fuck happened to the cop? Like, what just went down? Like, just imagining, like, their psyche right there.
Yeah.
And then they see, like, as they approaching the police car, fucking Derry's like, get back in the car, Trish, because he knows something's up. And the way it's just, like, a creeper's just sitting in there with his, like, long hair. And
Yeah.
it slowly gets out, like, whistling and shit. And it
Yeah.
waltzes over to, like, the head, and they're just like, what is it doing? Like,
Yeah.
no, it's not doing what I think it's doing. No, and it just starts stretching the fucking tongue out.
Yeah.
and that's the first time that they really see it up close.
Yeah.
And, like, get a good look at it.
You get, like, a pretty good look, and then you get that definitive look here in a second. But
Which-
they can kind of make out, like, okay, this is something else here.
Which I love how in the first one they don't really reveal too much of Jeepers Creepers. It's a lot of, like, in the shadows. You're not getting a clear look at him. Where the second and third one,
The third
they
one
show
especially.
him
It's like,
a
here
lot
he
more.
is.
I like the, like, hidden, like,
Yeah.
almost leaving it up to your imagination to plug it up.
Oh,
I
for sure.
really love that.
I didn't
about the
mind
first one.
it. Me too, 100%. I didn't mind it as much in the second one, but we'll get to that. I think it's just because at that point you kind of got, like, you know who it is, so, like, let it come out free. But the third one, we'll get to that. Man, of course the backwoods house they stop at doesn't have a phone, or at least the lady
Got a
says.
shit ton of cats though.
Yeah, cats for fucking days. Like, how many cats do you have?
Shit, dude, that house was full.
Crazy cat lady, dude. And man, like, when she's, like, looking over there and she's wondering, like, what's going on. 'cause
scarecrow.
she's just like, that's not my scarecrow. And that would
That shit fucks me
imagine
up,
being
dude.
Derry and Trish like,
What?
are you telling me that's it? Oh my god! And it just, like, in the blink of an eye, after I think she shoots at it, it's just gone, and then you
Yeah.
see, like, its legs over the roof, and it's like there was no time to even figure out, like, what even just happened. Like, what the fuck is it? And then the crazy cat lady, you know, she goes inside, like, what'd you put in my house? My babies or my cats? And she gets it, dude. I mean, man, like, I love, like, how she's like, they're like kind of asking like, is everything okay? And she's just like standing there, and he like walks her like out,
Yeah.
like with her feet barely like above the
He's just
ground. And that's when you get like the full on close
Good
up
look at
where he
him.
just drops her, and he's just like looking at it. And you know, in that moment, they're like,
Fuck.
there's like this is. I might kill I've never thought about killing myself. Right then, I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm getting out of here because this thing is obviously not human. I don't see any way of getting out of this, dude.
What'd you all think of the scene where Trish is trying to hit him with the car?
That's what
and
I'm
he
saying.
kept just
I
jumping and like
fucking
running
love
over
that
the top
scene,
of the car.
dude. That initial like where he steps off of the car and like does a backflip is like. You like it's weird. Like if you told me this shit on paper, I'd be like, "That's kind of corny," but it works so well. And then when she like drives and he's just like like running over the top of it, like it's like some fucking parkour shit. Like that is fucking dope.
And she tricks him into
I
thinking
love
the
the way it
car
moves.
stalls. So he's coming after her real fast, and she runs him over, and Justin's like, "No, like don't stop, like keep running and running
They're
him
never
over."
dead.
Yeah, because she's like, it'll only go in reverse. He's like, well, then just put it in fucking reverse then. Like, do something.
Yeah.
Like, either way, just fucking run this motherfucker over.
Then
dude.
they go to the police station, right? And you're like, okay, they're safe now.
Double
They
You
go
think?
back.
You think?
But then that crazy lady,
Giselle.
just
That's her name.
she shows up and just starts spitting fire about what the Jeepers Creepers guy is all about and all that. Well, for this, the Jeepers Creepers guy just runs through the entire police force like it's nothing.
Oh my lord, dude.
But could you imagine being like a prisoner at
In
that?
a cell.
Yeah,
Can
you're
you
just
do
stuck in a
shit?
cell and like you're like,
That was
let me.
intense.
Like,
I put myself in the shoes of the prisoner next to the first one that got eaten.
Oh,
like
the
if you're
one
just
that
chilling,
ran.
you're like, yeah, I'm about to do a lot of time.
Yeah.
This sucks. And then you look over and your fucking cellie's getting chewed on by
Because the cops are trying to figure it out, and they shine the light, and they're
Yeah.
like wondering, they're like, "Hey, you good?"
So
They're
skinny.
they're checking on everybody, and then they get to the cell before that cell, and they're all
Right.
like pressed against it like this, and they're like,
Look
"What's
over
going
there."
on?" And then just watching it like make like the like rip noises, and then when it does that like,
yeah.
and it's like swallowing like that. Dude, that is such a
And you can see
fucking
the strength too because he just
creepy
pried open
noise.
the bars of the cell like
Yeah,
it was
easily.
fucking nothing, dude.
Even
He
like
gets-
before it went
you
in
see
there
his-
too, like how beat up it was, and
Yeah.
when Giselle was explaining it, and he was just, and I like the backstory too. She said about the, every
House
like
of Pain and all that.
yeah, the 23rd. What the fuck is it?
Spring?
The 23rd spring for 23
23
days.
days.
That's when you first like get that, and that shit is fucking. It almost sounds like something else, but dude, it works so well. And that whole police station, dude, was on edge after that, dude. Like you were saying, he fucked them all up.
oh yeah.
The guy who plays the creeper, Jonathan Breck, is actually one of the cops.
Is he?
Like when he's like over there looking while they're all like looking down the hallway, and the one cop goes to explore like the stairwell,
Yeah.
and then when he turns around, it just like flops down like a bat and like rips out his heart real
yeah.
quick, and you just got
love
the
that
flashlight through it.
Oh, that was
Uh-huh.
Brecker, the one that got his heart ripped out?
No, he's one of the cops that has like the flashlight.
Oh.
They're like the main two cops they like focus on face wise is the guy they brought back in Jeepers Creepers 3 and Jonathan Breck. Like he's on the left with the flashlight. So I mean that's always fucking cool, dude. I mean, dude. And then we get Giselle talking to them, Adari and fucking Trish Moore while they're like in a full on retreat. And I love how like the creeper breaks up the fucking party by like crawling across the side of the wall. He just like turns his head around the corner and they're like, "Oh shit!" And he starts like crawling real quick. Oh my god! And you might even thought Giselle was gonna get it because she was like fucking saying, "Our Father who art in
Who art
heaven" and shit.
Let me pray real quick.
Yeah, and then it literally just grabs her up and starts sniffing her up and down before it releases.
Could you
her.
imagine it picking you up and just smelling you like that?
I don't even want to think about it. Then it's
It's
like,
you're like, I can literally do nothing right
See,
now.
this is. I was gonna bring this up. Is like, if that happened to you, what body part do you think the Jeepers Creepers guy would want from you?
it would want my dick for sure.
Your dick,
Everybody
my,
says
my
dick.
calves.
calves. That's a good one.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
Probably my face.
It's beautiful.
That's a. Yeah. I
Just
mean,
the front half of it?
Just
Like
all of
the
it.
face
Like
or
I
your
mean,
head?
it wouldn't need anything ever again.
All right. I'm just playing. I don't know, dude. Honestly,
It was just.
it's on the spot.
I was gonna
kinda
ask that at the
question.
very end, but I was like, we're
Fuck
already
it,
talking
if
about it.
it's- But and then there's Nowhere to Go. I absolutely love the scene where he's choosing between Derry and Trish, dude. That whole scene like is intense as fuck. Even before where he's like looking on that like because they're at a police station that whatever one-sided mirror or whatever, and he's just like smelling on the other side of it. He just breaks fucking through, dude. And that is so intense. Like imagining like being brother and sister, and at this point you've clearly believed Giselle, even though they're acting like they didn't, but they're just trying to avoid the inevitable, and they're still like, this can't be real. When he's just like smelling both of them, like how intense this got to be. Like, don't take me, but you're also like, don't take my sibling either. Fuck,
Yeah.
like this is like
You
what?
lose no matter what.
You think he's gonna let him go and
Take
take
her.
her, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
And
what
he
a
just
fucking
flies
nightmare.
away with long.
Yeah, you
But-
find out he's got wings. You're
But
like,
I love how when the cops like bust in too, and they shine like the light on him, and he lets out like this gigantic like squeal,
Yeah.
and that's when you see another layer to the creeper like literally too, like his whole head like folds back, and you see him in the fucking light. It's like. It's like,
What the fuck
imagine
is-
being Derry just like right here, and it's just screaming. And like Derry, you can almost feel him like holding back, like, yeah, take Trish, but then like he's almost like, yeah, don't take her, please don't. But then it'll be quiet for a second, almost like, I also really do not want to go with this thing. Please do something. You almost wish the cops would like tried to shoot him or something, but man, dude.
yeah.
And then, like you said, get taken away. Like I can't imagine being Trish and just running in the night helplessly, like seeing your brother being like,
Being flown off.
Yeah. Like, what is.
oh my god.
Boy, these last 12 hours have sucked.
Yeah, like, well, that caps this day. Whew, can't wait for tomorrow. It's been a rough one. Then you get that haunting last shot, guys.
I love it. I love seeing
Yeah.
Derry with no eyes.
Yeah, that was dope.
And how, like, you can
His
hear him
eye.
screaming, too. And then, the camera's just slowly, like, panning down, like, the hallway. And you see him, like, working on something. And then you just see Derry just, like, his whole back of his head's basically cleaned out. And you just
He had a
fucking-
good looking back head
Dude.
and eyes.
Yeah. And then when it just, that last shot, it's just perfect. Like,
With his
perfect way
eye.
to end it. They went there. It was dark. It just, where'd you get those eyes? Like, my God.
Beautiful movie.
Children, have you seen? Whatever the hell that last song is that plays. Oh, my Lord. Jeepers
All right.
Creepers
On to the second one.
is a certified banger. Who wants to kick this one off?
Jeepers Creepers 2 starts off on day 22, so there's 1 day left.
It's the
before
last
this-
day.
before
You
this
gotta
creature
survive
goes
this
back
last.
to sleep.
Is this the
Day.
last day from the Justin Long and his sister, or how does this timeline
so
work?
it's
It's
the
a weird
timeline doesn't work,
timeline.
to be honest.
It did.
But
until
this
the
takes
third
place
one, really.
after the first one.
So the first one was like the day it woke up.
It was,
And
no,
then-
it was like a couple days. I think it was 4 days before. It says the fire at the church happened 4 days ago from the second movie. It
Yeah, 'cause
says
they
on
hear
the
it on the little
radio.
radio.
Okay.
So the first one happened 4 days
What?
before the second one.
Yeah, like the timelines and everything sync up. It's when you get to the third one, and for some reason Victor Salva's like, "Let me ruin my franchise." But yeah,
Jeepers Creepers 2, I absolutely love the opening. For the second one,
I'd agree.
the kid hanging up the scarecrows, and like you see that like side angle shot of all the scarecrows,
and you know
can
it's
see
a
that
fan,
last
too.
one. You can see it,
You're like, I know who.
and
that
you're
is.
like, oh, somebody's about to die.
Dude,
And when I think of Jeepers Creepers, it's synonymous with like scarecrows.
Okay, it's the beginning of this movie with the brother out in the field, the dad, and the dog barking gave me like signs.
Vibes, yeah,
Yeah.
from movie signs.
Yeah.
For some reason, I didn't take movie signs right there.
Yeah.
I was like,
Like,
give me
just a
signs of
signs.
things.
No.
So I was like, well, what signs?
Yeah,
are
of
they?
the movie.
Yeah, I was waiting for the
signs.
rest of the sentence.
Yeah, I was like, you just stopping there, or like, what signs
Well,
did
I
it give
didn't.
you? That's
Whoever named that
ridiculous.
movie
Oh,
Signs.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Uh,
we got
yeah.
Signs vibes. The movie
sure.
Signs.
And I think like the best moment is when the creeper, it makes that like quick noise, that rah, rah, like it cuts real quick. Whatever that noise is, when the creeper like looks over at the kid, and then the kid looks back, and it's like as soon as he makes eye contact, the creeper's like went right back to normal.
And
it
what
made
does the
that little
kid do?
rah, rah.
what does the kid do after that? Seeing something like that, walks
He
right
goes
up to it.
Let's go check its feet.
Honestly,
Why?
honestly,
Well, I
I could
would
see me
too.
doing that.
No.
I was like, what, did I see something? How many times have you
Yeah.
been like?
First
did
of
I
all, I'm
see
not even
something?
going to be in that field.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not going
Scarecrows
I'll give
do
you
scare
that.
me, actually.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But like, that's one of those things that's so hard to believe. You're like, no, what just happened? Like,
Yeah,
I know what I said,
exactly.
but there's no way. And then you're like, oh shit, wait a second. Because like y'all were saying, you see the feet, and he knew he was in trouble. And then like the creeper dude, like he purposely does that. He waits a little bit, just like he purposely waits till he sees them and then turns. He looks at the feet, and he still at first, but then I know where he like taps his toes
Yeah.
like that, just to like add another fucking layer, dude. And he even lets him run away for a second. That was definitely purposely done before he just like
Yeah.
Fucking
He's
playing
like-
with his food.
yeah
He's like
elevates,
a fucking
dude.
cat.
It's dude, like the way he glides upward, dude, off the scarecrow stand is so dope. And even the shot of like him dragging Billy away, like, can you fucking imagine, dude? That is just fucking like it's like you're trying to make out what it is as the dad, like Billy, and this,
Dad.
yeah, and he's just like
That's all that happens.
he's fucking full speed, dude, just dragging this kid like it's nothing, dude. I mean, it's a kid, but like the way he was dragging
Yeah.
him, it was fucking intense, dude. Till he just
love the opening.
disappears.
Then there's a high school basketball team who just won state. Give
Oh,
it up
yeah.
for them.
Not a football team.
Phantoms,
Dude.
go Phantoms.
My whole life, me and Brandon thought this was a
Dude,
football
I did
team.
too.
Don't air me out like this,
I
man.
thought it was
I
a
know this
football
team,
franchise.
too.
No, I did too.
It's actually a
until this.
basketball
I
team.
even wrote
I
football
had
down.
no idea.
I
But
did too.
Scotty, I believe it was, said something about when I ran that fast break, and I was like, you don't
See,
run
I-
fast
So it's
break in
fast break
football.
basketball?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basketball.
Okay.
We thought this was a
And-
football team.
And I've heard
There's
that a million
12
times.
people on the bus. You can't have a football team.
Yeah,
with
I was
12
going to call
people.
him out on that until I found out it's a basketball team.
Yeah, I've heard that a million. The fast break, obviously, like I pick up
You
on
weren't
that.
just weren't
But for
piecing it
some-
together.
I guess maybe because I saw this in 6th grade. Have you ever seen a movie when you're really young, and then even if there's like new stuff added in the equation, your mind's already like been made up because you saw the movie so long ago? I feel like a bit of that was happening, or maybe like dude was just using some like slang, like he was just crossing it over to that. And there's another basketball line. Didn't even mean to say that.
Well,
Man,
yeah, the tire gets, blown up.
Yeah.
And the bus driver and coach go look at it, and they pull out it's like a Ninja Star, but with like,
Like a homemade fucking.
I think it's like,
So
it looks
dope.
like teeth.
yeah, that guy's
And,
like,
like,
fucking
bone.
thing's got teeth in it.
Yeah, and like bone, and it's like
Coach.
undestructible apparently. And then they find this knife in the field. It's apparently got powers like Thor's hammers. How it just like starts.
Oh yeah.
What was that
Moving.
about? Yeah.
And,
You're
like,
talking
goes
about
straight into the wall.
when
Yeah.
it cuts back to the other people, dude.
And then
The dad, and
farmer.
the brother.
yeah, then they get going again, and the girl's dreaming, and like she sees like Justin Long come out of the cornfield,
cornfield.
like yelling, like he's coming, he's right there.
And then she also sees the little
girl,
farmer
or
boy.
the boy, all bloodied up.
And then she sees Jeepers Creepers running,
Yeah,
fucking booking it through the
Dude,
fucking
That
field.
is such a dope ass scene.
And
the
then-
way he's just leaping, then it's
And then that's
slows
when,
down.
and then that's when the tire pops again, and
At
she
that
wakes
point, you're
up,
like,
and she's
something's
like,
up.
"Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
Dude, his
What?
shurikens that he's throwing are dope, though. Made
Yeah,
of bone
okay,
and
that's what
shit,
they're-
super
yeah,
sharp.
it's so sick. But one thing I do want to say, I love how this one jumped like straight into it, just
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
first one did. And I love how they tied in the first one, like you were saying with the radio. They really like these movies do a great job. I was saying this in a review I was doing. I can't reveal what that is
What?
right now. Yeah, but I was saying there's movies where they start and they have a lot of fucking backstory, and a lot of them get boring by the time you get to it. Or there's movies that just throw you into the fucking fire, and then you're like, I don't even know these characters. I don't even care. Sometimes movies have a great balance, and sometimes movies do this. It's like you get the quick start, but you learn and you figure out. They do a good job of incorporating those things while it's also fast paced, and you're already fucking in it to win it. And I think this one does a good job of that, just like the first one does, dude. What about like old is he or isn't he, man? They were giving that guy mad shit.
yeah, they were on with the gay jokes. And
Yeah,
stuff
they were
like
not
that.
playing about
It
that,
was
dude.
back in like 2003.
Oh my
Dang.
god, 100%, dude.
Scotty is a weird character.
Also,
Scotty is such
He's
a
a
bitch.
very weird character.
is he the
But-
blonde-haired guy that thought he should have played more than 16
Yeah.
minutes?
But I actually I like a lot of these like all the guy characters in this I think are actually really good. Like Scotty, he's like a douche, but I think he's like good at playing that kind of douche.
And he had some good points too later
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So-
And everybody, what holds this movie back a little bit for me is actually like the main girl. I think she's not interesting at all. The girl that's getting the visions, like I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
she's supposed to be the main one, but the guys like on the basketball team, like the four like main guys are actually really good. Which I'll talk about one dude's point in
Nah.
a second and bring him up.
Scotty was such a bitch.
He was
He's
a
such a
bitch.
pussy. He's such a labia dude. Like he just needs to get licked a few times and maybe he'll feel a little.
Josh
He
really
might have by
Josh
the
don't
creeper,
like
dude.
him.
You don't know what happened.
But
I
like
like
they're
Scotty's
they're,
character.
they're they're like
I did too.
17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. They just won state. They're celebrating. They get another flat tire. Bus driver's like, okay, we gotta get everyone back on the bus because you know
Yeah,
one tire
something's weird.
is something, two tires with this type
And
of
what's
The
weapon.
same
in it.
way. Like at that point, you're like something wants us.
Yeah,
broke
something's
down
trying
right
to
here.
stop us.
So they're like, get on the fucking bus.
Yeah, and within like 10 minutes of the movie, all three adults get taken up into
Yes.
the sky.
Both coaches
Yeah.
and the
Quietly, too, I
fucking
loved
The
it.
bus
coach,
driver.
dude, just in the background, and they're
Just-
like,
He
"Coach,
drops the flare.
where's the
Yeah.
coach?"
Just so you hear,
And then you see outside the front window the bus driver. You hear like, "Ah!" And then the other, I don't know if he's like the assistant coach or
Yeah.
what, where he like goes in. He's like, "Everybody chill out," and the coach is even like, "You need," the assistant coach or whatever it is like, "Scotty, you need to chill out," and then he gets grabbed, and like you got to look at it from their point of view. They don't know what this thing looks like yet. All they see is these feet pulling up on him, and he's just like, "Scotty, help me!"
it's so
and they're
good.
freaking the fuck out. And I actually skipped over a line. The other guy I thought was good. He's the guy like that was being questioned by the assistant coach. He's like, "What did you see?" And the guy's just like,
Yeah.
"He flew away."
You don't
That-
just fly away.
Yeah, that dude I thought was really good too. But when he's getting yanked up and Scotty's comes back in after the assistant coach or whoever gets taken, he's got blood all over his face. I thought that was good acting when they're just like, "What is it, Scotty?" Like, "Scotty, what the fuck was it?" Like D's like screaming at me. He's just like, "I don't know what it was. Okay, I saw it. And I still don't know what the fuck it was."
Which I
And he's
love
like-
that line because I'm pretty sure they bring that back in the
Yeah.
third one too. Like I saw it and I still don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck it is.
And what cut the second tire was like what Ronnie said. What'd you call it?
Shirtigan,
Ninja
Whatever
Star.
that. Yeah, that part of it had Justin Long's
belly button.
belly
Yeah, I
button.
love that.
Yeah.
The,
The little
touch on
rose
that.
tattoo on there. But then, you know, Jeepers Creepers is on the bus sniffing through the windows.
Oh, that's dope. And the panning away shot they did before that too, after they realized they were in shit, after like Scotty
Yeah.
had the blood on his face, they all went to like the back window and it was almost like a still frame where they were just staring out into the distance, wondering what they're up against, and the camera kind of fades away slowly and you see just the endless nowhere. It really like painted the picture that's just like, wow, like these guys are scared. This is getting intense, and they like. I mean, the visual, like they are fucking in the middle of nowhere. What are they gonna do?
Dude, and when Jeepers Creepers is crawling on the bus, and then he's like hanging upside down, looking at him,
Man,
smiling.
he's like looking sideways.
I know you feel different, Brandon, but I can't stand. I don't
I
like it
thought
at
it was
all.
just a little
I-
over
the
the
thing
top.
I loved about the first one was keeping him in the shadows, and now they're just bringing him out. Here's his face, and I
Well,
don't know.
this is
I don't like it.
This is where I was kind of touching on the first one. In the first one, I'm glad they did that. It was great. But by now, we know exactly who the character is. They keep him in the dark for the most part. When he is in the light, they don't really show his face. So now that he's revealed, like, you almost have to let him be, like, once... Like, they even do a little bit of that where they don't really show him. But once they get the movie rolling, they had to, like, give everybody the creeper. Like, we know what he looks like now. We know what he is. And, like, it was cool to me seeing the way he picked out every one of them. Like, the look of him, like, hanging on the side of the bus and, like, that guy, the shot of him, like, just laying down in the seat, and then it just looks, like, sideways to the point where, like, you can only see the white in his eyes, and he's just, like, looking at it. Then he's, like, in the front, like, you don't know what window he's popping up in, the fear of that. And then he's, like, looking at everyone, like, grinning at one, and he's, like, doing this with his fingers, like he's going to snap him in half. And then the last one where he's, like, Scotty's like, "Get the fucking light off of it, man." And that was something that comes back later in the movie. But then also when he tells he does all the little things, little sound effects, and then he tells one guy, he's like, to basically tilts his head aside, like move out of the way. And then when he sees D, dude, he borderline has like a full-on orgasm looking at him. He's like,
You like him.
and he's just losing his shit. And then he starts fucking shaking the shit
Can you
out
imagine
of the
being
bus.
that guy after
Oh, dude, I definitely want to be. I'm
Jeepers
gonna be him,
Creepers
dude.
locks eyes with you and knows he
Oh
wants a
my
piece of
God.
you. Well,
Hell
then
no.
that kid, he looked like Rick Moranis' son that's on the mic.
The geek.
Call-
I just
Yeah,
call it
the geek
yeah.
calling, he's using the mic. He's been trying to call the police, everybody. He gets in touch with the guy from the very beginning whose son got taken away, who's been,
That was a blessing. 'Cause
setting
he's about the
up-
only one
yeah.
that believed him.
yeah, he understands. He's like, okay, yeah. But he's souping up his truck to go kill this thing, but he's still pretty far away from him. He said it's going to take a while to get out there, but they're coming and they're going to bring help.
Mm-hmm.
So like Rick Moranis, the geeky kid,
he was calling him Rick
Yeah.
Moranis now.
you're like he's a hero. He's like good job for him. And then immediately, the Jeepers Creeper guy just sticks his head,
And pulls
sticks
him
his
up.
arm down, and just grabs him by the head and pulls him up.
I thought he was done.
I did
Yeah.
too.
Sure.
I thought he was just gonna go, but that girl was smart because she had a javelin,
Yeah.
and they took the javelin and threw it up, and saved the kid's life
Right through his fucking
right through
eye,
Jeepers
dude.
Creeper's eye, and he's
The next part is what's most impressive, bro.
Well, that was
Yeah.
something too about the javelins that had came up before because the Izzy guy, Izzy or isn't he, was like he was talking about. He's like we got javelins on this bus.
Yeah,
And fucking
like-
of course. What's his dickhead's name? I know it
Steve?
every time. He's over there just like, well, you gonna fight that thing with sticks? He's like, I'd rather have a fucking stick than nothing if that thing comes
Yeah,
back,
true.
which is a
No
good
shit.
point. And another thing too that we saw the bug vehicle from earlier that was like honking at him when they're doing the Phantoms chant was like run down and like ripped apart. You see that?
oh
at
yeah,
one
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that javelin through the head, dude, that led to some fucked up shit. And of all people, though, why did D go look? He was the one that, like I said, like the creeper basically had like a fucking orgasm looking at him.
Exactly.
Why of all people is D like looking up in the hole? Like that should be the last person. And then here the fucking creeper is the way he like looks through and his fucking. He's like half his fucking head's gone. That was fucking dope. I love that shit, dude. Very, very good. Ah, man. But you just knew when they had to climb under, like, his wing, though. When
Oh
it
yeah,
crashed
that
through.
dude, that's a phobia of mine. Is being
Wings?
wrapped up wings.
Like, I don't
dude.
even go to B-dubs, bro. That's a
Who
tough
would
go.
touch that thing? Why would you walk
Dude,
up to it and
it's-
touch it?
Just looking at it and the way they were describing how it felt, like a shower curtain and stuff.
Yeah, he's like a shower curtain. This
That's-
thing's more like just wraps him fucking
Yeah.
up, dude. You know he was shitting.
Oh,
Just
I would be too.
screaming.
If I
He's
was
just
wrapped
stuck
up.
in it like a cocoon. Gets pulled the fuck up, dude.
Yep. See
And,
ya.
oh my god! And the process in which it replaced its head, dude.
Yes.
How it like started in the
the
stomach.
practical effects were amazing.
Yeah, and he was like doing that shit again, and the one girl's like looking at it as it's happening, because you're wondering like what's going on up there, like somebody fucking check, and you see like part of his head get tossed onto like the side of the bus, and you're like what the fuck, and the way that goes and courses up through his stomach and raises up into like that, like whatever. It's almost like the fucking face hugger from Alien. That's like behind his head. It like grabs the new head and pulls it in, and then the way he just turns into the light, and it's like, oh shit. Well, there we go. The creeper is restored. Man, dude.
Yeah, I know this is one of your favorite scenes, Brandon, but before that, they're running in the field.
Well, one question I gotta ask? That's not like you were.
Are you trying new
beatboxing.
sneezes too?
What was that?
Yeah. A question I wanted to ask before then, though, is like now they do have that decision and they're deciding on it whether to leave or stay. Like, even from the beginning, like, what do y'all think y'all would have done? Would y'all have been more on like Scotty's side? That's his name. I finally remembered it.
Stay or get off?
Yeah, and some people
Oh, no,
even
I think
half
you
stay.
stay
If
as
you-
long as they have, and then I think they get off.
No, if you got smelled by the creeper and he wants you, bye. Get off the bus. And then all of us that didn't attract his scent, we stay on the
Yeah,
bus.
that's what Scotty's saying. He's just like, I'm just
How
saying.
you
I'm
getting them
100%
off? How
with
you
that.
getting them off the
I
bus?
push him off.
But no,
Dang.
yeah, but that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing though. I love how D checks him. when he's like slams him into the
He's
door,
like,
and
"You
he's
got
like, and we took the fucking light off it. He could have like fucking licked his lips and tongued
Yeah.
you and did everything up and down while that fucking light was off of it. You don't know that shit, Scotty. Like I love D in this movie. He's awesome, dude.
I think everybody should have gone off the bus except me.
Okay, well
No, I know you.
they
you're-
get off the bus and they're running, and it's showing like an overhead view of them running through the. And it
Dude.
reminded me of Jurassic Park 2.
Oh yeah, running through the field. with
Running
Yeah.
through the
raptors.
tall grass with the
Mhm.
Velociraptors like zoning in on. That's
I
such.
love that.
It's such a great scene.
I love how it immediately went south too. Like
Oh,
as
yeah.
soon as they got off the bus, he was like,
was
"What
on
up?"
it.
Bro, like
He
I
was
was just
waiting for
waiting.
him.
He's just by the moon, like there they
By
are.
the moon.
I was wondering how long it would fucking take, but all right, it's on.
Finally.
And also something I don't think we mentioned. I did like how initially the creeper was trapping them in the bus, and I like how they brought that up.
Jammed
like
the
later
door.
on, he was like, we thought he was trying to fucking get us like out of it. He was jamming us in.
Dude,
there.
that's my favorite part of the whole movie is that little, I guess, twist you would say, where you think that he's trying to get them out, but really
Yeah.
he was.
He's
That's
keeping
so
them put.
genius. That's so. I loved it.
Oh yeah, dude. But yeah, immediately went south, and I liked how D when he was checking Scotty too, when he was like, he's like, and like if it gets you, and I hope it does. Like he was talking shit like that. But when Scotty is out on the run and gets pinned to that tree, and D actually stuck around to help, he definitely was like my favorite character in this movie from that point on. Like, cause he like showed like he wasn't about the bullshit. He was about helping people. But he was just such a like likable character in like his actions, I think.
That's how you get killed, though. Helping
Yeah,
the ones
well,
that
you
are
gotta
hit.
have the balance, and guess who got killed though? Scotty.
Yeah, which was shocking to me.
And dude, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Did y'all think Scotty was gonna die?
No,
there?
I thought he was gonna be final guy.
Yeah,
dude.
he's like,
Yeah.
dude, come on, dude, like get me out of here, man. And they even like get it out like as he's getting grabbed, which makes it even worse because he just would have got ripped off and like half his arm would have still been
Stuck by.
pinned to the tree.
And that's the hand.
But they literally ripped. Oh, the fucking twist! When they rip it, he just fucking boom, up in the sky, dude. That was great. And through that intense scene, dude. Now that's actually I'm not even gonna say that because that's what I was talking about. Like, did you think Scotty was gonna get caught? I always hated how a big grouping of people though just like disappears in the distance, like never to be heard from again.
Yeah,
that's
no
something that
shit,
always
dude.
bothered me about this movie. I'm like, what happened to them? Like, that's like fucking 6 more kills you could have had that would have been fucking dope. I mean, you never
Yeah.
know what would have happened. Like, maybe like they were gonna shoot that and they were like on short time. They're like, well, maybe
Time
they
and
got
budget.
away. But I remember being in the theater. That was like the one thing that always bothered me about this movie. I'm like, but what happened to them though? Because I thought it was gonna cut from them back to them, and then we were gonna see what happened with that and all that transpired with
This
that.
is where he gets a harpoon to the chest, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
He
He
gets-
goes
farmer
back
makes
to the
the dad.
bus because first we got to bring up he fucking takes the fucking kid's head with the glasses through
Oh,
the fucking
yeah.
ceiling. And dude, I've never been more sure. I'm like, he didn't get him that time. He's definitely get him this time. How often do you get out of a situation, mind you, the same exact situation, twice with like a fucking monster like this? Like, you want to talk about lucky? This might be like the luckiest kid in the world. His head was about to get cut off once, and they're like, now I got you. Once again, dude gets fucking saved.
Yeah.
This time he got
Ray
more fucked up
Wise.
this time, though. Like, Creeper, like, dug his nails into his head the
Oh yeah,
second time
because
around.
this time he's like, I got you, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
This
fucking.
is a headshot by the dad, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
you see like that doesn't kill Jeepers Creepers headshots. Obviously, he lost half his head earlier in the movie, but then he
Did he
goes
get
into,
him
like,
in the head there? I think he harpooned him through the chest at
Was
this
it?
point. Yeah, I think
I
he
thought-
just got
well,
him through the chest and he was like flying around with it through
That
his
ain't gonna
body.
kill him
like-
anyway, because he goes into hibernation, right?
Mhm.
And then the dad just has him propped up in this,
Oh,
Very-
whoa,
you're
whoa,
jumping
whoa.
way
Yeah,
far.
we got way too much.
Is
yeah.
there more?
Yeah, you're talking about.
okay.
Man,
That's
we're still on
literally
the
the end.
bus. Yeah. Right now we're on the bus. We haven't talked about when they're trying to escape in the truck and the field. And
So yeah,
all
Oh, I
but
thought we were
the
already talked
farmer
about-
does shoot him with.
That's
It was
when
like
he
the
shoots him in the
knife.
head.
Yeah.
What you're talking about. He shoots him with the spear like gun and it goes in his chest on top of the bus and,
And
he's flying around.
He's flying
dragging-
around,
Oh,
pulling
yeah.
the truck and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm at that very end.
Yeah, I
of
was
the
like,
movie.
hold
My
on, we
bad.
haven't talked about my favorite scene yet.
Where were you saying, Josh?
But yeah, and then Jeepers, he gets off the line or whatever, off the harpoon gun or whatever. And the farmer ends up shooting him again. He reloaded that whole harpoon contraption thing that he fucking built.
Yeah, and the son's like, "Dad, just get out of there!" Like, what are you doing? Like, he had to like
Wait till
look
the
at
last
me
second.
like, "Dad, get the fuck!" And then it finally dawned on him like, "Yeah, I got it." And he flips the whole fucking truck. That was cool.
Oh,
And
he
then,
flipped that truck
like a
too.
motherfucker. That did happen.
And then he pushed old girl out. That shit was dope.
Yeah, and then dude, poor fucking D though, dude. When Izzy and the other girl like are trying to get away, he can't fucking open the. He literally tries to open the door, like the handle breaks. So he's like, "Shit!"
Yeah.
And then he gets the other end, breaks it. He's like, "Shit!" And he's just got to jump in the back of the truck.
I wouldn't even do that,
Yeah,
dude.
and it's just flying at him. He's like, "Go, go, go, go!" And I think he's got like the flare gun. He's shooting at it, and he's like, "Izzy, go, go!" And then like out of nowhere, Izzy just slams on the fucking brakes, and the creeper just goes through the window, sending the fucking truck into a flip.
Yeah.
It like not Izzy, fucking D goes flying one way and the creeper goes the other way, and you kind of like wake up like through the eyes, kind of not the eyes, but you see like fucking D wake up like, what the fuck, and he's kind of wondering like, where is everybody, what's going on, and he's like looking through the cornfield or whatever, and the truck just explodes, and as soon as that explodes, the creeper just like raises up like this and starts like smelling, like, 'cause you can smell D, and D's sitting there like he's freaking out. He knows he's there now, so he starts crawling away. And then the shot of this, dude,
Yeah.
I still remember, dude. I saw this movie 3 times in theaters, and every time the audience had the same exact reaction, because the camera's like really like low there with D, because he's like on the ground. So all you see is like the cornfield shit, and then just above it there's the night sky, and you're wondering like, where the fuck is the creeper? And you see him with one
Boing.
leg leap
one
over
arm,
the
too, I
corn,
think.
yeah, and he's just like, "Ruh," and the
Yeah.
music picks up,
That's
and
what I
you
was
see
talking
D like
Oh,
he's
shit.
crawling away. And what's so creepy about it is it's the fact that you're sitting there and you're wondering like, where is he coming next? Because like you don't know like if the next time he jumps he's gonna be like way up here next to him, or if it's gonna be just like a few feet and D's actually getting ground on him somehow. But each time it's like, holy shit, he's close.
Jumping
Yes.
6 feet. In the
Yeah.
air.
Yeah.
And the music that played with that, so fucking dope. And then of course he does catch D. And if the creeper wasn't weakened, dude, it'd have been fucked. Because like, I mean, D would have been fucked. He's sitting there barely holding him off. The creeper's doing everything in his power to scare. He's got the fucking shit folded back, like screaming at the top of his lungs. And that's when the headshot comes. And Ray
Then-
Wise's character.
And the farmer stabs him like
He's just like,
100
"Die,
fucking
die,
times, which I would have done. Every ounce of my strength, I would have continuously stabbed him.
Yeah, but why the chest? Why not like the head
I
constantly?
would've
But it doesn't
been
even
stabbing
matter
him
at this
everywhere.
point, because no matter what you do to him, he's just gonna.
Well, I don't know. They don't really. Does the farmer know that though?
I don't know if he.
I
does
would have
know
been
that.
stabbing him until I literally had no
I would have.
strength.
It would have been the face for me. I'd have been stabbing his
Took my
face.
kid like you're fucked.
Yeah, which I do like that in a way. Is I always ask for that. It's like, why not just chop this thing up into little pieces? But at the same time, it did feel a little cheesy too. So maybe it's like in the execution how they did it. And I wasn't necessarily a big fan of like the dad and the son actually as the movie went along. But I'll talk about that when we get to ratings, and then what Tyler was saying about him being like hung up, and there's people like coming from maybe around the world for all
So
we know.
dope. The ending is so dope.
And he's just about a couple days now.
Charging
whatever he says.
$5 to see it, 10 for a pick.
And I remember being so hyped and ready for a third after that ending. Like I was like, this is gonna come out in like a year.
I know.
And then like 17 years later it happened, and then we got the third one, which we'll talk about.
And
which
we were
of course,
so happy that the third one was coming out,
And the
then
whole-
it came out.
I feel like we got to touch on this because people
Are you
fucking
talking about
boycott this
the race
movie.
thing?
Not the race thing.
Oh.
People boycott this movie because of it. If y'all don't know, let me fill you in. Victor Salva is a pedophile.
The director.
Yeah, the director is a kitty toucher.
Oh.
And that's why after the second one there wasn't a third one right away, is because he basically got blackballed and they weren't wanting anything to do with him. And then it took so long to make this one, and that's why the third one too, when he finally got it, whatever the fuck the third one was off the ground, it's so like low budget because
It
nobody's
sucks.
wanting to put. Yeah, dude, it's just the whole
It doesn't
thing.
suck
It
because
ruined
of what
it,
he
'cause
is,
it-
dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying the
I wish
the
it's-
process sucks,
yeah.
but people say like why are you even giving that movie time. Well, here's my thing. It's like, even though it's Victor Salva's like baby and all that, there's still performances in here from actors. There's still like the art of it. It wasn't all him. Like the other people, the people that made the makeup effects, the people like Jonathan
exactly.
Bray, like those people deserve to be respected too. But I mean, it sucks that there is that asterisk. But I mean, that's what's so great about the fourth one coming out soon. But first, of course, we have to jump into 3 that got prolonged due to that, and also does not have very good effects at all.
I don't have many
It's
notes on
14
this one.
years later
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah. After the first one and
The
the second,
second one.
the timeline. Well, no.
No, I'm
this is-
saying
Okay.
from the time the second
Oh.
one came out to the third one.
It came
that's
out
what we're talking about.
2017.
Oh, you're giving me some timeline
Yeah.
on this.
I like the beginning of this one. Just
Yeah.
So promising.
Just
For what it's
because
worth. Yeah.
Dude, that van / truck is so dope and
It is.
mesmerized me. It's like it's like a
That's
secret
kinda went
weapon
the
in
different
itself.
direction for me after a few
And the
watches.
cops are like, checking it out, and it starts, doing dope shit that
Saw trap shit.
Yeah.
it's so cool. Like how it shoots that thing out of like its muffler pipe,
Yeah.
and it's just like straight bone with carvings. He's
Boom,
really
boom,
artistic,
boom,
actually.
boom,
Jeepers.
boom. Yeah, what's weird is the first time I watched this, I was like, that's okay at best. I think I'm just being generous because I really wanted a Jeepers Creepers movie for this time.
Me
this
too.
long.
I was giving it so much
Yeah.
promise.
The second time I watched it, I was like, I'll say this much: the traps were really cool.
Yeah.
This time watching it, the traps didn't even really work for me. Because like the more I watched like this movie as a whole, I was like, I feel like almost like they knew what they had, and they're like, well, let's just pour all of our thoughts into these traps and just make a cool car. Like it
Yeah.
kind of like started to make me mad where I'm like really, this is where you go? Like it's like we don't have anything, so let's make a cool vehicle. Like it started to kind of bother me as it went on for some reason.
I understand that, but I like the vehicle was like the best part of this movie
Yeah,
for
that's
to
saying
me.
Kind of interesting that it takes place after 1 and not 2, though. And this timeline makes no fucking
Yeah,
sense.
dude.
at
See,
all.
I don't even
Good
know the
Lord.
timelines. I just
Oh
And
man,
you
This
figure it out
movie
at
just-
the end of this one.
this
Yeah.
movie just made me mad.
I really like the first shot we get of the creeper though, on top of his truck with the fog behind him.
Yeah.
How he's just like standing and it's taking him away, and he's just staring at him as he goes by. I was like, okay.
It's like he
might
has
be
like some
onto
type of superpower where he can just like
yeah, that
glide
truck's
on
like
a
a
tr-
part of him.
glide
Like
on
the
his truck.
truck's alive.
Yeah, it's so
Oh,
dope.
yeah.
The truck, but
Oh yeah,
this
And then,
movie's
other than a few serious acting scenes I couldn't take serious at all, I'm not that mad overall. Like at the start of this film to this point, like honestly, like pretty good so far.
well.
It falls off a cliff at
Another
9
thing
minutes.
that bugs me about this movie is the cop and that one, the black guy. I don't know. his
The
Yeah.
name.
detective.
All they
Awful.
did was look at each other and yell, and then like bring up shit about Jeepers Creepers, and then say something that could happen
The
or
whole
that's
time.
dangerous. They were like, he can fly. They're like, there's kids over there. They're like, he'll eat the kids. We need to get the kids over here. He likes that place too. That's all they did the whole movie. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's so hard to take
Ah.
seriously. It makes me cringe.
I don't think I liked one character.
No, there isn't a good character in this movie. The younger cast in this one, with the weird bikers and shit.
With the 4 guys
not-
on the
yeah,
dirt bikes.
like
Yeah.
aren't very
Totally random.
likable either.
No,
man.
not
Like,
right
they're-
off the bat.
they're
That one
so
dude.
douchey and weird.
that one
Rodney's
dude-
like, I'm out. I don't care. Yeah, sure.
That one dude like traps a rabbit. He's like, the rabbit, kill it. Like, I don't care.
Oh yeah, bro. Let's do some fucking.
And he's like,
X
y'all
Games."
need to man up. Stop being such women.
That-
And then
dude,
him
that
on the
line
dirt
right
bike.
there cut right through me. I loved it.
He
Where is the tension at from the first 2 films in this movie?
there's nothing.
It's
I love the kill
there we go. What's
where Jeepers throws the spear and pins
Right
the
through
2
the dude's
kids.
legs?
No.
Oh, that's
when he
the van.
throws the actual spear and pins the 2 kids
I
against
like
a tree.
see when I first saw this, I kind of liked that.
I did.
But the more I see it, I'm like, the CGI is so bad though.
No, what?
Yeah, I
Run fucking
know.
zigzags. Did Tom and not teach you
I
anything?
know exactly. Listen to the School of Tile and run zigzags.
And here's the thing
At
about the
least
CGI. Hear me out on this. Like a lot of times when I know a movie's got like really bad CGI, but they're working on like a lower budget, I kind of take that into consideration. But the thing is, when you have really bad CGI and you're working on a really low budget and it's due to the fact that you touch kids, I kind of throw out that grain of salt. You know what I mean? So like the whole time I'm like, you did this to yourself. He was like Derry when he went down the fucking tunnel. I'm like,
Hold my feet.
You did this to yourself, bro. You're the reason it looks like this. So no, I'm not forgiving you.
I couldn't find a budget for this movie. The first one was 10.
Neither could they.
Yeah, the first one was 10 million, and then the second one I think was 12 million.
My God. It's so hard for me to watch like Meg Foster these days too. Even the stuff she does with like Rob Zombie, it's just cringy.
Dude, she's always
6.2 million.
That was the budget. So they basically had it cut in half.
Yeah, dude.
Man, if he didn't touch kids,
And
this
there's
could have been
probably
a great trilogy.
And that wouldn't even be a trilogy. They probably would have been on Jeepers Creepers like 7.
I know, it would have been
shit.
so
It would have been like
great.
the Saw franchise. They would have kept busting them out.
But they would have been.
Yeah, and these up and close personal daylight shots of the creeper are too plentiful, dude. Like, let's get back to the atmospheric vibe of the earlier scenes.
Yeah, it was him killing in
film.
daytime, not nighttime. Which
The whole movie
it was
is
too
in
too
broad
bright.
fucking daylight.
Yeah,
and it's
it
showing
was.
him, and he doesn't look horrible in this movie, but he's almost like too black looking. Like he's almost like he's.
I hate that, don't you?
Yeah, almost like he rubbed oil all over his skin.
Like, yeah,
Oh my god.
his teeth were a little bit different.
I forgot I had to skip like a page. I was about to be like the actor who played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies. Oh, that's wrong note. The stuff with the creeper's hand just doesn't do it for me.
Me, dude, I hated it.
It's so
I
annoying.
hated that whole part of the story.
Why
Just
is he
making
so-
a creeper.
Why is he so concerned with one hand, anyways? He's always replacing his body parts. So, like, what?
If you could see me, I'm getting
It's
pissed
blown.
off.
It's blown.
It's so stupid.
That's what's crazy about this movie is at least Victor Salva, even with like the shittiness of the movie, he knows his movies. Like, why is he like adding in these weird like you know he can just get another hand. You know your timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
Robbie
Why
loved
are
that
you
part of
doing
the movie.
this?
That was the worst.
It was like it felt too like you didn't need all that extra shit in there. The way it was like ping ponging around. I do kind of like the scene where everyone is like hiding under their like vehicles though.
Yeah,
And you can see him grabbing like a guy. Like it's the same shot from the first one where you see like out of Derry and Trisha's back window.
Yeah,
and they use that a couple times. And this one, yeah, he like flips the truck.
They think they're so safe.
Yeah, but the way it does it, like when they're like looking out the back window, and you can see him grabbing a guy from the back of like Freckles' truck. I'm just calling him Freckles.
Freckles.
And the creeper immediately stops what he was doing with that guy, and he runs away and locks eyes with them.
Yeah.
I really like that. Okay, that's about the end of my likes.
Well, then that one guy runs up to the car and gets blood all on her side, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then the Jeepers comes to his side and like smells, and then he goes over to her side, and, like wipes off some blood and puts his eye up there, and then puts his nose and smells, and his nose
His
looks
third
like
nostril hole.
yeah, it looked like a vagina. His nose did.
I don't know what vaginas you've been seeing, bro.
What? How do y'all not?
I'm just
I mean, it's not the best looking vagina.
but it's a vagina.
It's dude.
It's a
They all look the same, whether you see one
This
or
is definitely
three.
a black one. Not due to look,
They're
but
all
it's
pink.
it's black. Yeah. No, but yeah, there was some when he screamed into the window.
The
and
window
glass
shattered.
broke.
Yeah.
Cracked.
The way the glass broke looked kind of cool, but like his scream didn't do it for me as much in this one.
Yeah.
I do like when he was looking through the blood though. I think that's because that's like the one time like it's not dark, but it's lit up and you can
Yeah.
only kind of make out his face, which is something I was asking for. But overall, that scene was okay. Even like when the girl gets taken away and like there's that shot, it keeps going like boom, 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 and he's looking up in the sky. But that kind of feels borrowed from other films, so I don't know how much credit I give for that. I mean, dude, I was sitting there, I even wrote this down. This shit is so hard to like even write notes for. It's so painfully
It was,
uninteresting.
man.
I'm pretty sure we know the ratings
didn't
on this
keep my
before we
attention
get
at
there. When Dan and Tubbs are in pursuit of the creeper, like a little later on, dude, I don't know why this has pissed me off and joke was funny to me. Like they're literally on the creeper's ass, and the creeper lays on the horn almost as if to say, "Hey, leave me alone." And then he starts like dropping shit out the back like a game of fucking Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's like a
blow up.
rolling bomb.
Yeah, but it's just like I understand the creeper like honking the horn when he's on someone's ass, but like these
Him
humans
doing
are on
it
their
'cause they're
ass,
on
and
his
he's just like,
ass.
"Stop it, beep,
I don't
beep."
like how this feels.
Yeah, like stop it, and then he just drops. Like it's that horn's scary when he's in pursuit, not
Yeah.
when he's running away. Like that's weird, and that's what that reminded me of. He dropped that little terrible CGI fucking ball thing out the
Yeah.
bag. It reminded me straight up of Mario Kart. It fucked me up, dude. Oh my god, and the CGI just gets worse. It was okay.
It's hard to even talk about a movie like this. It's
It was I kind of it was I don't know where that came. I was like I was about to rap. I liked
Slim Shady.
I kind of like the way he looked in like the field a little bit when he had like that. Like I like his weapon, the big ass like axe looking thing when he was like coming at both of them. But then when you see him like launch into the air, like it looks bad.
A scene I did like is when the four dirt bikers found the truck in the field.
Mm-hmm.
They get close to it, and it honks and shit.
Yeah.
And then whenever he like goes up to the door to like peek in, and the dude on the other side like bangs it, and you think someone's
Scared him,
inside
yeah.
of it, but it was just him banging it.
And
And
one
then
of them was still alive too with the girl. That
What?
I forgot about that too. We didn't really touch on that.
Oh,
Where the
wow,
creeper
this was
took
the-
the girl away, and there was one.
Yeah, this is
motorcycle
before
guy.
that.
No, I was just laying that out there real quick.
Cause,
I felt we should at least
Because
say
there
it.
was one kid, it was a redhead kid. Immediately as the truck did its first thing, that kid got on this dirt bike and he left. He was so smart. He was gone. He didn't care.
She still died.
Yeah, but he immediately knew like this is
That
trouble.
was kind of cool. He pissed on the vehicle, and he was like, and he smelled it and was like, "There's one more."
Yeah,
I need it. Like I
He
kind of like
found some.
that.
I like how it shoots
There's a
that thing
plus.
out from its muffler hole and just pins that guy's leg, and then it starts sucking him back into the truck.
Yeah, that would suck.
And they're trying to pull on his leg. That dude just so painful.
Yeah.
I'm just
like watching this movie.
I did
Very
do this
painful.
movie. Is,
Yeah, I got,
I liked it the first time I
It was,
watched it
dude,
just because the
I've
truck.
watched it a second time just to see how it felt. Like maybe like
Yeah.
a month or two ago, and then I realized I was like, "Oh my god, I never would watch this again." And then when we did this, when I got to the third one, I was like, "I just watched this 2 months ago, and I know exactly what it is now, and I don't want to watch it." Yeah, we'll see if that changed in the ratings. I don't know if you can tell. The ending was, it was whatevs. I do like the tie-in of Freckles getting on the bus from 2, but here's the thing: is like none of this makes sense timeline-wise. So at the same time, you're
That's
like,
why
fuck.
he got on the bus.
Yeah.
I know, but I was like,
But here's the thing that's even more fucking stupid: is where is this guy in number 2?
Yeah.
Like you got this girl that's having
Exactly.
visions. He wasn't like in the back of the bus. Like I've dealt with this before, guys. I know exactly what this is.
yeah, like
He
2
was
days
just-
ago.
He was just quiet, like we're supposed to believe he's one of those guys in
Yeah.
in 2, and he just was like, I'm not gonna explain.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
They'll out me.
Yeah. Was that Izzy or isn't he? Like I don't know, dude. Yeah, I mean, dude, that just makes absolutely no sense, dude. And
yeah, and
Trish-
they should have casted someone. Well, that don't make sense because it
I don't
came
know.
out 14 years
It-
later.
Did you all like how it ended with Trish?
I think it's
No.
cool on
I did
paper,
not.
but it made it seem like she had been out of acting.
Okay.
The way
since
she
the
looked at the
first
camera
one.
and what she said.
Like she was so scary and so badass. No,
Like,
you're not.
I think she did it for a payday.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
She's probably like, Victor, you're a pedophile. I'm going nowhere near you. I'll give you half the budget. All right. So actually, it was $3 million. Yeah,
See,
that-
like when this movie I heard was coming out, I got pumped up.
Yeah.
And then when I found
I
out
did
she
it
was
'cause I
making an
worried about
appearance,
this,
I got
but
more
still was
excited. And then I saw the
Ready for-
movie and saw her part in it. I was like, this is
Ready for
Terrible.
scores? You want to go first, Tyler?
the
You want me to go
first one, yeah.
Worst to best.
Oh, worst to first. Worst to first. Obviously, worst is gonna be
The
Jeepers
first one.
Creepers.
I feel like we're all the same on this.
Jeepers Creepers 3, man. The only highlights for me are the truck. And that's it. I gave it a 4.7.
damn, high
Coming
score.
in at second is high score.
Hell yeah, dude. Some praise over there.
The middle movie coming in number 2, Jeepers Creepers 2 at a 8.3.
Yeah.
I gave the first one a 9 too, I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You got some.
That's
high
the
scores.
highest I've ever given a movie
No
on
shit.
here. It is Jeepers Creepers. Now that I'm actually rating them
Subjectively.
the right
and
way.
It took you a year and
objectively.
a half to figure out a rating scale, but you finally got it, bro.
All right. You done, Tyler? You saying one?
Yeah, I mean, just
Okay.
one's great.
Jeepers Creepers 3, fucking terrible. I'm giving it a 3, and I'm being generous with that. I feel like Jeepers Creepers 2, like the movie, nowhere near the first one to me though. The second one's getting a 6.8, and then Jeepers Creepers 1, really good movie. I'm just giving it a even 8.
Really? Nice. All right. Coming in at third for me, got to be the first one. This franchise improved as it went along, for sure. No, the third one is coming in at number 3 for me. Kind of the reason I explained, the first time I watched it, I barely gave it like an average score, and I think I was just fiending for some creeper. The second time I was like, holy shit, this is bad. And then watching it again, even like the couple good things I took away from it, like, good God, this is horrible. The only thing I can praise about it is like the opening shot with the creeper was good. This movie is a travesty. This is a 2.5 out of 10. This movie is garbage. And guess what, guys? I can confidently say this will be the worst movie we watch, pretty much by far, like out of everything left from these franchises. Number 2, I used to love this movie. I saw it 3 times in theaters. I would just revisit it like crazy. I had a feeling I'd fall a little bit below an 8. And I could never really put my finger on why I don't like it as much as I got older, because when I think about it, I love it. But I think what it is as I've gotten older, as the movie goes on, I kind of don't really like the dad and son character. I would have rather they just left that at the door as like some creepy opening where a kid gets taken. Because I honestly, like, I loved everything that went on the bus, but every time it was like with them, with like Ray Weiss's like weird look, and then him coming in to fight the creeper with like these weird weapons and shit, I would have rather like D and all them like figure out something, like, and him maybe not get saved by this old bastard. And then the other thing I think that hurts this movie a little bit is like it's hard to gauge what the beginning, middle, and end of this movie is. Like, you're kind of like, are we in the middle of the movie right here?
Yeah, true.
And you're like, no, well, not. Is this the end? And then you're like, oh, that's the end. That's the end right there. I think it's something with the pacing. The pacing isn't bad, as in like it takes you on a journey and you're always engaged, but like it's hard to identify where you're at in the movie, and it's kind of off-putting. So Jeepers Creepers 2 gets a 7.6 out of 10. Number 1, this is going to get an absurd rating. This is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Jeepers Creepers gets a 9.6 out of 10. I fucking love this movie with a passion.
What you got, Rodney?
Oh, so number 3 is Jeepers Creepers 3. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a 1 out of 10 for me.
There it
I
is.
literally, in my notes, say that after 9 minutes, the movie falls off a cliff.
That's
So,
exactly what happened.
because I after 9 minutes, like, I went
The
to the
opening.
time to see where it was at, and I was like, dude, it's just awful for me.
I can't do it.
It's
Even
so
the
bad.
acting, when it shows like that little in between where they're explaining Trish is upstairs, the acting is so bad. I'm kind of like, okay, maybe it isn't great, and then it kind of gets lifted again. So there's even shoddy parts in that opening, but it's at least somewhat promising.
I give it the 1 strictly because of the opening, you know, like y'all have been saying
Or
with
it'd
the
be a
truck
0.
and everything. Like, yeah, it's
1.5.
just
Our first 0.
the opening saves it to get from getting a 0. But yeah, 3 is in third place. It's atrocious. Number 2 is 2, Jeepers Creepers 2.
So we all have the same.
Yeah,
figured.
it's all
I
the
thought so.
same.
There's some people like.
Well,
2 over
Jamie
1.
Jamie thinks 2 is the best one. So I really enjoy 2. I think with them adding more people from the first one, I think was a good idea, and it being a bus full of, you know, teenagers that's relatable. You know, we all worry about
Yeah.
breaking down, you know, the long
And they're
trips and shit on
solid
buses.
actors, for real. Normally they have shit actors in this situation.
The acting wasn't the greatest,
No,
but
but
it
for
was
this kind of
it was
movie, it
doable
was
because there was
really
nothing but
good.
like screaming in fear the whole time. So it's like it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll give the second one a 7.8.
Nice.
And then of course Jeepers Creepers. You know, I'm pretty sure for all of us this is just nostalgic. This
Mm-hmm.
movie used to scare the shit out of me. And Justin Long, like, it's
He's
hard
so
seeing him do a
good.
role like this even now. But yeah, the first one I give an 8.6.
Beautiful. I was hoping you went the 9 route. But
No, it could be a 9. I could see it being a 9 if there was like an
Yeah.
extra 20 minutes maybe of like some, I don't know, something. I just need a little bit more.
Word. All right,
Yeah.
guys. That's the Jeepers Creepers franchise. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe below.